Now, as you can see, this villa, okay, it's kind of my property. I mean, this is where I work. It's my office. I'm trying to get, this thing under my control. I want to buy it, man, but this is so old. It's like, I'm gonna have to show you around one day when we get to know each other better, though. Listen, man, in a previous video, I talked about the internet being a steroid advertising machine. What it basically means is that, you know what, man, just go ahead and watch that video. I put the video in the card, and it means that advertising is really powerful, but that's not how you dominate a market. You see, to dominate a market, any niche market, anytime, you need to do few things. And the cool thing about it is that one word can help you out. Now, the word is EAT, E-A-T. It stands for expertise, authority, and trust.
Wow.
So you must understand that you playing somebody else's game. Google makes the rules, right? And you will be rewarded if you follow the rules. Now, what Google basically saying is saying, look, show that you're an expert about it. Show me that you're an authority in your niche. Somehow people just, trust those who seems to be expert and those who seems to have authority, and call it a day, and you will win the game. So the basic idea to dominate any niche market at the end of the day is to be an expert in your niche, is to build authority, and to gain trust. Now, there are a few things that we need to talk about. For example, if we say that, again, it's easy to say it, but it's a really, really hard to put it into practice. Now, I want to show you some few tools, some few ideas to nail the game. You're really gonna kill it. If you find, as I talked about in the previous video, how I prepared to launch a brand new site, you want to start already being an expert. If you buy a book about the niche that you're in, and you don't even have to buy it. You go to PDF, you just type your niche, and then you type PDF, and you will see a lot of PDFs. Just download a PDF, have a read through, and you will start understanding your niche better. Now, you want to be an expert, and just buying a book, it won't do it. You need to do more. You need to buy a course, or you need to buy the product that you're trying to promote, that you're trying to sell, that you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do with your niche site. Now, this is going to really get you on the path of being an expert. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. It's really easy. You just buy a book. You do exactly what I do. And again, I put the video in the card. It's really simple, and this is how I prepare to launch a niche site. Now, there are a few things that I wanted to talk about. So if you're still watching after 3 minutes and 55 seconds or whatever, thank you so much. And I'm really, really grateful about it, obviously. And I want to give you some bonus. Now, listen, to dominate any market, there are two little words that you need to really make your own, and you really need to appreciate it, because it's a privilege to advertising on the internet. I wrote a book which is going to come out 24th of December, a day before Christmas, and it's called Privilege, Advertising Privilege. And it's basically the whole idea. I actually wrote the book for myself. I'm putting it available for you to get it, obviously, because I want you to get, your hands on it and read what I'm about to say, because listen, man, it is a privilege. It is a privilege. Now, I'm not going to talk about, big brands like, we don't give a fuck, about Coca-Cola. I don't give a fuck about Apple. I don't give a fuck about these companies, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not even going to talk about them, because they're not really doing anything special. They do two things at the end of the day. One, they follow the trend so much that they set trends. If you follow the trend, what you're gonna basically do, you're gonna allow yourself for one day to be on top of the trend. You're gonna know what's gonna happen. You're getting smarter and smarter every day, because you're following the trend is just basically following psychology. You know, you already know what's about to happen. You know that if that's a bad news, the stock market is gonna, is gonna be negative this day. You know what I'm saying? Like you can visualize and you can make a beautiful bets just because you do know what will happen. Okay. Now, that's the first thing. You want to follow the trend. I showed you, again, in a previous video, how to, follow the trend or whatever. And, how you find topics that basically follow the trend. And you want to, number one, follow the trend so much that you will set trends. If you set trends or you on top of the keyword of the week, I don't know why, but people assume that you're an expert and you're a big authority in that niche. I don't know why that is. Don't ask me. I may do some thinking about it and maybe come up with the answer. I don't care. The thing is that it's not I don't know why. I don't care. This is how it works, and you just gotta put that to good use for you and your niche site. Now that's the first thing. Follow the trend so much that you will set the trend. Now there's another little thing which the book is about, and it's advertising. Everybody that really makes sense out of what we do, they advertise, and I advertise obviously for money. Hello, but I don't know, the advertising process, if we're talking about these big brands, don't you wonder why these people are in business and have been in business for a fucking 50 years, 60 years? How can they be, on top of it? Is it the money? I don't think so. Coca-Cola makes enough money. It's not about the money. It's about following. It's about being present. It's about being relevant. And they use their brand, their product to be present in time. So if that's the Black Lives Matter movement, obviously they will do something about it. So they want to be part of society. They want to be part of the culture. And you do this with advertising. Advertising is not just, to sell the products. There's a little thing called the awareness advertising, which you just run ads just to, raise awareness on a problem. It's not just buying the Coca-Cola. It's not just buying the product. It's just to raise awareness. Now, again, if you're still watching, man, thank you so much for, doing so after 8 minutes. I know that this video is taking quite a long time, but I should say, by now to hit that subscribe button and to comment and to like this video. I'm not going to ask you to do this, but what I really going to ask you is to take these ideas and put that into practice. So the first one, if you want to dominate any market, use the EAT concept, which is build expertise, be an expert in your niche. Read everything that's to be read. Buy books, read a lot. That's a little thing that I learned a long time ago, that a good writer is a good reader. A great writer is a great reader. A genius writer is just a smart reader. I met one time, a few days ago, as this lady, that sometimes pop-ups to the studio. We have an open space, and we got office, from the local, the local people that have office just above mine, and she's a little author of the, it's a local author, and she basically was, trying to promote a book, right, to me. And I was like, do you do any readings? Like, what you reading? And she's like,
I'm reading this, that, and the other.
She wasn't reading anything. So she's a writer that's trying to sell a book that doesn't read. No wonder why she can't sell books. Hello, you need to get, the little piece of advice that I gave, because I saw the lady that she was really passionate, she was really nice, piece of advice, a great piece of advice. When you give it to people, to the wrong people, you just, it just you're making a mistake. So if you're giving a piece of advice to somebody that doesn't appreciate, what he has to, it's not even asking you for the piece of advice, and you give it to any, give it that person the advice anyhow, in any ways, you're making a mistake. So give yourself a piece of advice not to give piece of advice to the wrong people. And I fall into this, mistake a lot of times, especially because of the internet. So I'm not actually having you to ask me for a piece of advice. I'm just giving it to you because I know that you are watching, because I know you going to listen to me, and I know that you are going to make it work just by listening to these few pieces of advice. Anyways, man, long story short, if you want to she wasn't selling any books because she's not the person she's trying to sell the book for. So it's a really powerful idea, but it's really simple. Just be an expert in your niche, read as much as you can, and build authority just by being present, whether that be following the trends or following keywords, even small keywords. If you find the keywords and you play the keywords game, don't you worry. Get that keyword which is searched 0 times a month and write a blog post anyhow. 0 means that there's less than 10 people asking for that keyword, which basically means that there's 10 people a month. In a year, it's 100 and something of people. So make sure that you understand that, and that you are present, whether following keywords or following trends. And obviously the tools that you will use are Google Trends and keyword suggestion tools like you would suggest. And then so you will build trust, and to build trust, you gotta be yourself. You gotta be your true self. The cool thing about YouTube and the advertising privilege that we enjoy nowadays, it is simply that you can be imperfect. People are not on YouTube, but it's not because you are advertising on YouTube, you gotta be perfect. The YouTube thing, it's about imperfection. People are not on YouTube. And again, when you advertise, which is part of the you should do to dominate your niche market and to dominate any market, anytime, it is simply that you essentially, what you want to do is you want to understand to where you advertise and when you advertise and to who you advertise. You see advertisements, in TV all over the place. They don't fucking know me, They don't know that a guy 28 years old. They don't know nothing about me. They just know that on average people are watching on TV 8 o'clock after the news. And maybe, they know that fall is coming and everybody's got, throat problems or whatever. So they advertising the throat, medicine or whatever. But they don't enjoy the advertising privilege that we do on the internet. So make use of it. Advertising is a powerful and a splendid tool. It's very beautiful. It's fantastic. And you're going to be great at it. So if you have a niche site that is only making $200 a month, it's $200 a month. Hello, get 100 and put it back into the business. And advertise. Do advertisement. Get out of your comfort zone and do these little advertising things. So EAT, expertise, authority, and trust. Follow the trend and use that beautiful thing we call privilege, advertising privilege. Thank you so much. And again, I should ask you, to subscribe, to like, to comment. I'm not gonna ask you that. I don't care. It's if you haven't done so already, there's nothing much I can do about it now, is there? So make sure that you use what I just told you. Write that on a piece of paper. EAT, follow the trend, or use keywords and go for any keywords, all the keywords that you can find. Obviously, make sure you don't do keyword. You don't use the same keyword. It has a technical term. It's called cannibalization. It basically means using the same keyword in different blog posts. So it's gonna get messy Google doesn't like that. Google likes simplicity. Make your website simple, because this is how you want to use your website. If you use your own website, if you're trying to find information in your own niche site, how would you like that to be? To be easy. You go, you find blog posts, you read it. It's answerful and it's hopeful. It gives answers. It gives hopes. These ideas, you will do great things. Thank you.